Hello YouTube universe and welcome to a brand new episode of the United City Randomiser here on my channel, the United City FM. If you've joined me before, then the next part of the United City Randomiser is only moments away. If this is your first time joining me, then maybe you should search out the first episode in the series, as it will give you all the information you need to know exactly what is going on and what this series is all about. Whether you're a first-time viewer or already part of the United City, having pressed the subscribe button, you are most welcome here. But as promised, the time is now for the next part of our journey together, so let's get going. Here we go for episode 5 of the United City Randomiser. You can see that since we last met, we've had 4 positive results, a draw and 3 wins. The stars of our show have really been all of our wide players in rotation. They've all done very well. Bertram and Wayland, Hilsner and Darday, they've all contributed goals in the last few games. We've left a lot of them late in terms of when we score goals, but I don't mind that so much as long as we're taking the points, which we've been doing. We've got 2 games today just to finish off this part of the season before we go into our winter break. So if we can get 2 positive results today, we could really help ourselves in the league table. Let's have a look at that. You can see that we're currently sitting in 4th, but if we play Koln and we play St Pauli today, if we can get 2 positive results against them, then that should really push us clear in the 4th position spot, which would be really helpful for the second half of the season as we look to try and get into these promotion spots. So that's what's happening. We're doing well. We've got 2 games today, as I say, against Koln and Pauli. So let's get going. So this is the team for today's first match, and it's a fairly usual team now. Most of these players have played quite a lot of games recently. You can see that relationships are beginning to build between them. The only one that's not quite is on the left, but that's because Hilsner and Bertram have been rotating in the left wing position quite a lot. So that's just scuppered some of the relationship building there. But it's coming. In terms of the rest of the squad, you can see that we've now got a few unhappy players, but that's because they're periphery players that aren't quite playing. And when they do play, they're not playing well enough to stay in the team, really. But we'll still operate a bit of a rotation policy and get some of them some game time and see if we can up their happiness just to keep the squad in a better place. But today, the team, as I say, is fairly standard. It's Langer in goal, Egbert right back, Orez at left back, Abu Hanna and goal in the centre of defence, Stanko as the holding player in midfield, Burnich as the deep-lying playmaker, Wassi as the Metzala, Darday on the right, Hilsner on the left, and Pisano up front. And Pisano and the other strikers are the one that's really struggling to find their form at the moment. I can't get goals out of them regularly, but let's see if one of them can find a goal or 2 in the next game or 2 as we play through. So here we go against Koln. So a couple of things to note. One is that Koln are playing the same formation that we are, so maybe that will lead to quite an open game today, which hopefully will help us and favour us in the long run as we go through the match. But Koln are going to be a very good side. And the second thing to say is I've just let the players go out with clear minds. They've been playing well recently. I don't want to confuse them with anything further. So we're just going to let them play in the first half and see what happens and address any issues at half time. So let's get into the match. Here we go for kickoff. I wonder how much highlight we'll get today. Some games have been really, really low on highlights, and others you get one every 2 seconds, it feels like. So who knows what will happen today. But we're off and into 4 minutes. They've had a strike not on target. Now they've had one on target. We're struggling again in possession. It's something that I haven't quite got the balance of how I want to play right yet. But over time, I'm sure we'll figure that one out and continue to tweak the formation and the tactics as we go to get a bit more dominant in the play that we have. Here we go for the first highlight. It's for them. They've come down the left-hand side, cut into the centre. Are they going to get a long shot away? They are, but Langer with a good save. It's gone out for a corner. Will that be part of a highlight? It will. So here comes the corner kick for them. We're well set up. Can we clear it? We've got a decent half clearance. It's coming back in again. No, we've blocked the cross in and it's gone out for another corner. They're putting a bit of pressure on us though, so can we keep this one out as well? what happened there? We got a goal kick for that one. So yes, we performed well in our defensive duties. That's all you can really ask for on set pieces. We were brave and got blocks in where needed, and that means that we're still 0-0 leading into about the half-hour mark of the first half. With a couple of minutes left to go, it looks as though the last 15 minutes or so of the game have been really uninteresting. Nothing has been highlighted. We've had some good amount of shots, but not many on target. We're doing all right with our possession, but not great. They are much better on their possession, but they are at home, so you would expect them to keep the ball more. So in the second half, we do have some work to do. It turned out to be a fairly dull first half, but let's see what happens in the second half. So as a team talk, I went with "you've been unlucky so far," and then I went with the fairly usual Football Manager thing of positivity in terms of "I believe in you, I've got faith in you" for everybody in the second half. And you can see that a few of them have been motivated by that, so hopefully that will bring about a second half performance that's better than the first. So let's get going and see what happens. Here we go, it's their kickoff. Will it lead to a straight away highlight, or will it just go into not a lot? Yep, it went to not a lot. So off the highlights we come. You can see, as usual, at this point in the game, when it's a 0-0, everybody's having a bog standard game. Nobody's doing anything particularly interesting in terms of their ratings, but at least we're fairly well matching them in most aspects, other than our possession is still a little bit low. I'm going to see if I can change that in the next game and come up with a slightly different way of playing that maybe keeps the ball a little bit better. But that's for another day. I'm happy to keep a tight ship on this particular game against one of our direct rivals. So we're at 67 minutes, no highlights whatsoever. We're going to make a couple of subs in a minute just to see if we can put some more energy into the game. Yeah, let's do that now. So what are we going to do? So everybody's healthy enough, so that's pretty good. Again, we've had no striker impact, so he's going to get replaced by Lap. Our wide players aren't playing particularly well today, and as I've said in the intro to this particular video, is our wide players that have been the stars. So I'm going to change both of them for Wayland and Bertram to come on and see if they're the ones that today can unlock the game and maybe find a goal. So let's get back to the game. We've got 15 minutes left plus a bit of added time, and we'll see whether anything interesting happens. There's been lots of shots at goal, but from our perspective, not many on target. They've had a few, but they just haven't been highlighted at all, so they can't have been that good quality really. One last highlight maybe to finish the game. Will they get anything from it? No, we've managed to come away with the ball. I suspect this is the end of the game highlight rather than any particular highlight for a chance at goal, but you never quite know. Hopefully we can make something happen in the last seconds. But no, there you go. That's final whistle. It was a dull game, to be honest, with lots of shots on goal, but nothing in the highlights. But in the end, we got a very decent result against one of our direct oppositions, so I'm happy enough with that. Let's move on to game number 2 against St Pauli. This is the second game of our episode today then, against St Pauli. If you remember, we played them in our very first game of the season and didn't do so well. So hopefully we can show them that we've improved over the last few months. Just as an aside, I've noted that if we win today, because of other results and how they've gone, if we win this particular match, we'll go into the mid-season break in second place in the league. So that's a motivation as well. We've had to make a couple of changes for this game. Sprendra has had to come in because Abu Hanna picked up a virus and is out for a few days. And the other change is that Hilsner has had to come out for a gassed leg. So Bertram has come into the side. On the sub bench, we've included Kolb and we've included Kinsvatter as the 2 replacements for them. So let's move into the game and see what happens. St Pauli are playing quite a defensive formation today. They're playing the 4-1-4-1 system, so it's going to be quite tricky to break them down possibly. I did say in the last game that I would try and find a way to better our possession stats, so I've gone into our formation and tactical setup and I've reduced the pace that we play at a little bit and a couple of other minor tweaks just to see if we can hold on to the ball a little bit more. So let's get into the game and see whether that can happen. They start on the kickoff. Does it lead to a highlight? No, it doesn't. We'll see whether we can, as I say, keep better possession of the ball, dictate the pace of the game a little bit more, and see if we can get a positive result against the team that did us over the last time we played them. But at that point, we had so many new players and nobody was used to playing with each other. So here we go with a long throw in. Burnich on the edge of the area. Can he keep the ball for us? He can. Sprenger takes it backwards to Stanko. Where does it go next? Goal right at the back. We're keeping the ball well. Darday with a cross in. Nobody there, but Bertram on the follow-up. Yes, lovely strike by Bertram into the far left, far corner of the goal. It was a lovely build-up play. Maybe we've seen a little bit of our better possession and our dictating of the play a little bit more, slower tempo. Lovely ball down the right. Darday on the half volley. Cleared partially, but Bertram powers it into the far corner of the goal. Lovely strike. Lovely start to the game. Let's see what happens next. Another opportunity for a highlight is their corner comes in. We clear it at the far post, and that's the end of the highlight. So another set piece, very well defended. I'm very happy about that. We've been a little bit culpable for our own mistakes at times in those kinds of environments, but maybe that's just another sign that the team is getting a little bit better acquainted with the tactical way that we play and some of the setup for set pieces, etc. Highlight again is our ball, but we lose it. Can we maintain our shape and get a couple of decent tackles in to get the ball back? We're pressing them quite well. We're pushing them a little bit to keep playing it backwards. The goalkeeper now goes long. Can we win the ball? Yes, we can. Wasi in the centre of midfield, straight over the top for Pisano, gets a strike away, but the goalkeeper saves it. That's been fairly typical of our strikers so far this season. But we have the corner. The corner comes in from Wasi. Header goes out, back out wide to Wasi. Can he get a decent cross in? He can. On the edge of the box with Stanko, it goes wide right to Darday. Cuts the ball back in. Wasi on the edge of the area to Burnich. Can he find a route through to goal? They're holding their shape. I did say they'd play quite defensive. And what's the highlight here? I'm not quite sure what it was, but nothing seemed to happen in that last highlight. So it's just the Pisano strike on goal. Again, decent movement, decent play over the top, but the striker doesn't quite get the finish that we were looking for, which has been quite reminiscent of a lot of our play this season. But you can see that we're doing okay in terms of our stats. The possession is up. We're getting more shots on goal than they are, and on target as well, which is positive. We're attacking in all sorts of areas of the pitch, which is another positive. Another long throw into Burnich at the edge of the area. Back out to Orez. Can he get a cross in? No, back to Burnich. Is the shot there for anybody? Sprenger back out to Orez. Can he get a decent cross in this time? No, it's blocked, but we are going to pick up the loose ball and keep the highlight going and keep our possession. So let's see whether we can move it around well, get them running after the ball and create some open spaces. Here's Burnich with the ball. Wide right out to Egbo. Cross comes in. No, Darday with the cross. Again, our crossing isn't brilliant today. It's going over the top of things. But just as I say that, Orez with a fairly interesting looking cross on the diagonal, and Darday gets in front of his man, I think, and pokes it home. Let's see how Darday quite does this. Orez wide out on the left, just seems to drift a long ball over. Defensive error, which meant it came to Darday, and very coolly he put it into the corner of the bottom corner of the goal. I'll take it, but it was a very odd goal. You can see that Darday was well onside on that one, which is good. So that means 2-0 leading into the end of the first half, which is very positive. I'll take it. I'm very happy with how they've put forward their new possession of the ball, which is really good. So that's half time. I'll give a team talk and we'll come back for the second half. I've told them all that I'm very happy with the way that they played in the first half and to keep it going. So let's see if they can. Into the second half, we start with the ball. Can we keep the ball away from them for longer periods of time and get better opportunities at goal? Well, we'll have to wait and see on that one. But you can see that we are shooting a lot more on target, which is a real positive, as well as the possession stats being up. And you can see that in our player ratings, they're much higher as well. We've got several 7s throughout the team, which is really positive today. It's not something that I've seen too often. Obviously, St Pauli are having a bit of a struggle. Wasi with the free kick. cleared by them, but Darday has it on the edge of the area, and what a lovely strike that is on the left foot. Came out of the penalty area and ran round to his right and then cut it back in on his left foot into the corner of the goal, which is very lovely. You can see him bring the ball out and round and onto his left foot. Lovely long strike. Long strikes do seem to work in this particular division quite well. I suspect the goalkeeper standard isn't quite as high as it needs to be to keep them out. So we do have a shoot on sight policy, which I think is working quite well at the moment. We're at 65 minutes. We're still fairly even in terms of possession now, but still dominating in terms of shots on goal. So we're going to make a couple of substitutions and just see if we can freshen things up a little bit in the last 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes of the game. So you can see that I've changed a couple of players. Majed Chak has come in central midfield just to see if he can get his foot on the ball and play a few decent passes around and help us keep the ball. His passing stats are quite good. I've again changed the striker just because we're not getting the best out of our front men at the moment. And we changed our right back because we wanted to get Oches a bit more game time, considering that we're up in the game quite comfortably. And he needs to come in and get a bit of confidence about himself. So let's move back into the game and see whether they can help us get maybe a fourth goal just before the end of the match, which would be really great. So there's confirmation of our substitutions. And here we go, Bertram with a free kick straight over the top of the bar. Decent place to have a free kick, but quality wasn't quite there on that particular occasion. But that's okay. I'm perfectly happy with how things have gone today. Decent 3 goals, decent possession stats compared to where we've been recently, and a lot more shots both on goal and on target. What more can you ask for as a football manager, really? And some very good stats. I did say at the beginning of this particular episode that it's our wide men that have been creating the most danger for us, and again that's shown today in Darday and Bertram, both playing very, very well and getting on the score sheet. So 92nd minute, ticking along into the 93rd. I suspect this is the end of the game highlight. They've got the ball. Can we maintain our shape and maybe nick it back off them again? Here we go. What happened there? A free kick to us. For a second I thought we'd given away a penalty. Phew, that was good. 3-0 win. 2 decent results to finish off the this particular part of the season with. As I say, we now go into our mid-season break. I will tell them that I'm really, really happy with the way that performance went and the way that they played. And if we click on after the loading screen, you'll see that in the league, yep, there we are, into the mid-season break, we're now in 2nd place. So that gives us something really positive to build on in the second half of the season. I'll see you after we've played some friendlies and a couple of league games, and then we'll be back for some more action. Thanks very much for watching this episode of the United City Randomiser Save. If you enjoyed the video, then why not click on the like button, as that would really help me. If you think you know anyone who would really enjoy my Football Manager content, then feel free to share this with them. But most importantly, if you would like to join my United City here on YouTube, then hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with my video releases. If you have anything you want to say about the United City Save or the channel itself, then feel free to leave a comment below, but please try and be nice with each other. That'll do for today, so until next time, stay happy and healthy, and I will see you soon.